And my man's was like, having straps on the bed. That's a little bit of a red flag. Yeah, motherfucker.
Police! Help! Help! Police! Help!
What's good, y'all? It's been a while since we had an opportunity to talk about a Marvel Disney Plus show, an actual episode, you dig? Hawkeye debuted on Couch Tuna.
We don't do that here.
I'm out here acting like Moon Knight now, tweaking and dry snitching on myself. Hold on now, chain me up to the bed, motherfucker. I'm weird. I got a pet goldfish swimming around in the background. Bruh. The episode premiered, right, with Steve Grant being the first person we're introduced to as one of the alternate personalities of Moon Knight. And I thought introducing him and his lifestyle, working at a gift shop, at a museum, boy, that is one of the most square jobs possible.
I'm broke, nigga! I'm broke!
But introducing him instead of Mark Spector, I thought, was a very interesting touch, because when you show him off, he's much more relatable to the everyday person, grinding for minimum wage, doing what you gotta do to pay the bills, than Mark Spector. Plus, it kind of gets you out of the that's Oscar Isaac mode, because you see this guy walking around in London with an accent, trembling, a little scared. So it's a nice switch up. And I love the fact that when these crazy out of the box things are happening to Steve Grant, he kind of had this way of freaking out every single time a little bit more at what the fuck just happened. He wakes up and starts laughing like, oh man, it was just a dream. After a couple of YouTube videos, I'm a Mark Spector expert. And there are differences between the comic books and this. Most notably, Steve Grant is one of Mark Spector's alternate personalities, right? It's something that he adapted in order to infiltrate different parts of the world. And his Steve Grant persona is a millionaire. Well, we know this motherfucker ain't no millionaire in this shit. What they did by flipping that aspect is his life is slowly starting to fall apart, right? We see he can't really maintain relationships the way that he wants to.
Miss Brandt?
Yes.
Get me a violin.
There's been 3 recently released MCU projects that have gotten us away from the traditional New York setting, right? Shang-Chi did it. Eternals did it by having us hop all over the globe. And lastly, most recently, obviously, Moon Knight being based in London with also Egyptian areas with other versions of Moon Knight is very, very refreshing, because in the comic books, Moon Knight is in New York like everybody else. New York is a war zone in the Marvel comic books, but not having him there is a nice, refreshing thing to do. We have to get into a negative, because I've been praising this show too much, but I do have to talk about something that's going to require some locking of some doors. Changing of some key cards.
They ain't cut. Yes, they did. They must have cut me.
I can't be the only person that watched this shit and noticed how bad the CG is. I'm not even playing. The CG is pretty bad in this. Now, I know it's just episode 1, but y'all, it's a 6-episode series. This ain't 20 episodes. I don't know why the CG was as bad as it was. It was like somebody just fucking entered the Art Institute yesterday. Like that one scene where the logs are falling from a mountain looked like some shit from a fan film.
That's a big H-E-L-L-N-A-H. No. Not a no, but a no.
That blue screen, that green screen, when he was driving, ooh, shit wasn't really matching up with his movements. Boy, I saw some motion blur. Like, somebody gotta learn how to use chroma keyer. That shit was tough. Man, those special effects was spooky. Normally, for most MCU projects, it's like, hey, motherfucker, you gotta watch this. Okay. And this, and this, and this. Okay. And all of these, motherfucker, you have to dedicate the next month of your life to soaking in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then you can watch that first episode for full value. God damn. Ain't nobody got time for that. Moon Knight is super self-contained. Like, I knew it would be, because I don't think Oscar Isaac is really interested in being handcuffed to the larger MCU for multiple projects. He's kind of said that himself in recent quotes. So it's really, really like a solo MCU story. And that's good for people who are trying to learn about Moon Knight for the first time. That's great for the actors because it kind of gives them more flexibility in what they can do. We haven't addressed the blimp, or we haven't addressed the snap in any sort of way. Maybe that plays a role into his multiple personalities. It could be a thing, maybe or maybe not. But speaking of multiple personalities, the last thing I want to praise about episode 1 is the pacing, bruh. See, this is why certain heroes are better for TV or streaming services than actual movies. But with a streaming service, you can really marinate in certain things episode by episode. And it looks like that's what they're going to do, because episode 2 is probably going to mainly focus on Mark Spector and his Moon Knight persona. And then episode 3 is probably going to be Jake Lockley and maybe Mr. Knight. So that'll be fun to see. The pacing is really, really good, bruh. Overall, man, Moon Knight is cool.